viewer slideshow, viewers video, and a top secret special video. It's the all viewers episode of Icenrye's Geocaching Videozine. Hi there, welcome to Icenrye's Geocaching Videozine. I'm Icenrye, thanks for watching. For those of you new to the show, welcome. Essentially what this is, me, video camera, go out geocaching, film it, throw it together with a few tips, tricks, and other fun ideas, put it all together, upload it on the web so you can download and watch at your own leisure. If you're a regular viewer, thanks for sticking around, I appreciate your viewership. So, episode 13, lucky 13. Well, 13 always was a lucky number for me. And it's also a lucky number for you, the viewer, because, well, you don't actually have to watch a lot of me in this episode. I'm basically taking the camera off on vacation and gave it the month off, so not a lot of geocaching footage, but what I do have is stuff from you, the viewers. As a matter of fact, I have 3 featured videos in this month's episode. First off, we're going to start off with a slideshow from Lower Mainland viewer TJGuy. And he sent me a slideshow on caching in the Abbotsford and Mission area. Some great pictures, some great scenery, and a very good story. I hope you enjoy it. Also, we have the full length, all 6 minutes, of the CITO event video from Paul Konopaki in the St. Louis geocaching area. And he's also the host of the St. Louis and Area Geocaching Association podcast, which you can get to through iTunes, and I'll also have a link in the show notes. And third and finally, we'll have a special secret video from Pablo Mac, who's up to something no good. I'm not quite sure what, but we'll show you the video a little later on in this episode. So, what's been up with me lately? Well, as I've mentioned already, I'm on vacation for a lot of the month of June, and after I got episode 12 out, I took off down to the Okanagan for a week. Had a wonderful time sitting on the shore of the lake, throwing the frisbee, watching Abel swim, doing wine tours in Naramata where I stocked up the wine cabinet, and the big thing, of course, I got some geocaching in. As a matter of fact, I did a really great series of micro-caches in the downtown Vernon area, featuring various wall murals that they have in the downtown area. And I got some video footage, and that'll be coming up in a future episode of Icenrye's Geocaching Videozine. But anyways, let's get on with the show. So enough chatter, let's get on with some geocaching news. In geocaching news, happy birthday geocaching in the country of Canada. On June 28th, it'll mark the 6th anniversary of the placing of the first geocache in Canada. The cache itself was placed in Nova Scotia, and to commemorate the event, the Atlantic Geocaching Association had a great big party. Actually, one night ago, as of this taping, would have been on the night of June 24th. And according to the logs, it looks like it was well attended, and a lot of people had a lot of fun. And there is a special coin available. I believe you can get to it through the Atlantic Geocaching website. And I have one myself, just a special geocaching coin that commemorates the placing of the first cache in Canada. So here it is, 6 years later. There's thousands upon thousands of caches across Canada. And I think pretty much every province has some, and even some of the territories. And yeah, the sport's really taken off, and it can only get better. From the Lower Mainland Geocachers Association website, Dog Breath Canada writes, Farmer Dude injury. We've all enjoyed Farmer Dude's caches and thought you might like to know he fell off a ladder and broke both wrists. He'll be out of action for a couple of months. Ouch! That's gotta hurt. But Pharma Dude, I've done a couple of your caches before. Campbell Valley Surprise, featured in episode 4 of Icenrye's Geocaching Videozine. Great, wonderful cache. So hey, I know you're watching this, you're a regular viewer, so from me to you, get well soon, because we want to see you back out there caching again. From the Tahoe Lake Tribune. Water Trail embarks on geocaching. Geocaching could be the next step for Lake Tahoe's newborn water trail, a guide for canoers and kayakers looking to circumnavigate the lake's 72 miles of shoreline. Combining geocaching with the water trail makes for a treasure hunt on the water, says Bob Kingman, a founder of the trail. It capitalizes on a growing trend, and kayaking leads itself to a unique form of geocaching, Kingman said. So that's a great idea. What it is Lake Tahoe area has a series of trails that are accessed by kayaks, and from the sounds of it, they're going to be placing geocaching, or hope to have geocachers place caches along these trails, and it's another way to get more people out to enjoy the great scenery. Guys, I hope it goes well for you. From the Helena Independent Record. Treasure hunt pays off for Twin Cities tourists. Participants in the month-long Montana GPS quest can use their personal global positioning satellite units to find Montana postcards hidden at businesses throughout the Twin Cities region. The first person to find each day's postcard calls a special phone number to claim that day's prize. Geocaching, or using GPS devices to locate all manners of hidden prizes, trinkets, or other items, is gaining popularity as more people embrace the technology. The Travel Montana contest is an extension of a print and broadcast advertising campaigning that features GPS and several Montana adventures. Interesting. Sir Z-Man, one of my newer viewers, is also actually the host of the Twin Cities Geocaching podcast, and I'd really like to hear what these guys have to say about it, because I'm sure, being geocachers themselves, they probably have a heads up on how to find these caches. Also, if anyone from the geocaching.com office is watching, and I know you are, I'd like to know what you think about this, as it almost sounds like it's kind of bordering on copyright infringement, but it's not for me. I'm not a lawyer. However, the concept itself sounds really great. That's about it for news now, so let's get on with viewers' mail. Time for viewers' mail. And first we hear from Brian Roth, and he writes, I just wanted to send you a quick note to let you know that I've watched a few of the episodes of your geocaching videozine and enjoyed them a lot. If you're ever down in Seattle and would like to do a piece on Groundspeak in the Groundspeak headquarters, please feel free to contact me and I'll do what I can to make it happen. Best regards, Brian. So to Brian and the rest of the Groundspeak crew, hey, thanks for writing. I'm glad you're enjoying the show. As a matter of fact, I really do hope to get down to Seattle someday, because I'd love to take a tour of the home office of geocaching and see where it all comes from. As a matter of fact, see, I'm wearing my geocaching hat. So I'm actually a regular customer of Groundspeak, besides being a geocaching fanatic. So next we hear from Matt, and he writes, I would just like to let you know that I really enjoyed the show. I must admit that when I first caught your show on Rant TV, I was skeptical. I'd been geocaching a few times before, but never thought anyone could make a show of it. Your shows continue to stay interesting, and I'm not sure how you do it. Just want to let you know that I like your show, and that I have my own internet technology show, which is called Modified. Again, thanks for opening my mind to the sport, as well as giving me a great view of BC. Keep up the good work. Matt. Well, Matt, thanks for the letter. And I downloaded your show, and it's fun. I love these tech shows. I'm a huge fan of Hack.5, The Broken System, Modified, very similar. There's another one out there called Exit Frame, and these are really great shows, and a lot of them are done by, younger people who are one of these days going to be running the technology, and it's good to see guys getting into this stuff early. And I hope you enjoy watching the show, and stay tuned. There's more great episodes coming in the future. So next we hear from Lounging at Walden, and he writes, thanks for mentioning the video caches on your latest episode. Here's a giveaway for any gun can play video cache. The pulsar starts at thanks again. Well, Lounging, thanks for the tip. Now I can go solve the problem, and next time I'm in California, I'll have to look up your cache. So that wraps up viewers' mail. Time for Frappr Map Shoutout. Time for Frappr Map Shoutouts. If you don't know what a Frappr map is, it's a virtual wall pin map. Let me know, if you're a viewer, where you're from. And if you'd like to get mentioned in the shoutouts, when you add your pen to my Frappr map, just make sure you upload a picture and I'll feature you in an upcoming shoutouts. Now, to access my Frappr map, just go to my website, www.icenrye.com. Just look for the icon on the right side of the page. So this month, the shoutouts go to the Bolas Heathens, Mr. Fix-It Man, Taz, Invisible Girl. So guys, thanks for adding your pen to my Frappr map. And again, if you want to get a shout out, just join my Frappr map and upload a picture of yourself, and you too will soon hear your name. But anyways, that's it for the opening stuff. Let's get on with the meat of the show. Well, first on our all viewers contribution episode, we have a slideshow from Lower Mainland geocacher TJGuy. And he's been a fan of the show pretty much since day one. And while I was hanging out with him back in April and May down in the Lower Mainland, he mentioned that he had some really great stories on his early days of geocaching. And I let him know that I was planning to do an all contribution show. So if you could come up with a slideshow, send me pictures or something, that I'd use them in the show. So a few weeks later, received a disc in the mail with a whole bunch of pictures and a nice email telling the story of how to put it all together. So I've done it, thrown it all together, and here it is for you, the viewer. Geocaching in the Mission and Abbotsford area from TJGuy. Enjoy. Hello, Icenrye. I watched one of your episodes where you asked that we send in any stories we might have about caching. Attached is a story I wrote and contributed to a Backroads group I belong to in Yahoo groups. The name of the group is Backroads Drivers Northwest, and we drive mostly secondary roads and Forest Service roads in the Pacific Northwest, including Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Western Montana, and BC. We take turns hosting trips in our local areas, and we do trip reports for all to read. I decided to write a story about caching and share it with my Backroads friends. Here is the story and pictures to go with it. For my Christmas present, my loving wife gave me one of my toys that was on my long wish list, Magellan Gold GPS. I wanted it mostly for backroading and off-roading, as here in BC the Forest Service roads are poorly marked. There are nowhere near as good as Washington State for signage. Here, if you see an FSR marker, consider yourself lucky. After a bunch of turns and twists, with several forks in the road and darkness descending, all the roads begin to look the same. The GPS ensures that you get home safe. While I was getting familiar with my GPS, I remembered talking to some other group members on the Mineral Lake tour in Washington State where they were searching for a geocache. I logged onto the website, created an account for myself, and then searched for some caches near my house. It wasn't hard to find several just a couple miles away from me. With GPS in hand, I raced down to find a cache and failed. Not because the cache wasn't there, but more for my lack of knowledge on how to use the GPS. So on this particular day, I went out caching with my brother Ken. We picked an area where we could find roughly a dozen caches, knowing that we would only make it to some of them. While driving between sites and the leisurely walks to the cache site itself, you'd be surprised how much time gets eaten up in a day. Today we headed to two areas. First, the Mission BC area, and the second right across the Fraser River to the north side of Abbotsford. Our first stop was at a cache called Complex Mission Sports. This one is located in a small forest area on the edge of a large outdoor sports complex. At the complex there are several baseball diamonds as well as several soccer fields. We found the cache with minimum fuss, had a look through the odds and ends, and I took home 2 homemade music CDs made by one of the local family cacher teams. I left a Maytag Alpha knife and Chirpy the travel bug. I had picked up Chirpy the weekend before in Port Moody at another cache, and the instructions for Chirpy stated that she wanted to go to the mountains for the summer. So I got her 50 miles closer and dropped her off at this cache for the next person to pick up and carry her on her journey. Our next stop was only a few miles away on the hillside above the town of Mission. This one was called College Cache. It was called this as it's only a few blocks away from the local college where one of my daughters, Ken's daughter, are taking classes. The actual cache was located along a neat little linear park that was sandwiched between subdivisions. Our last cache in Mission was called Mission Hillside Pilgrimage, so called as it's the park where the original mission of the Oblate Priest stood. The park is high on the hillside overlooking the Fraser River with grand views toward Vancouver and east up the Fraser Valley towards Agassiz. On a perfect day, which day was sunny and about 20 degrees Celsius, Mount Baker looms large to the south. The park consists of many acres, both where the mission buildings originally stood, and acres of forest on the hillside above the mission site. The GPS waypoint for the cache led us off into the woods along a well-used trail. At first, the trail skirted a deep ravine, then the ravine gave way to a forest glen, where a creek in the ravine originated. A small pond area was the start of the creek, and several mallard ducks took advantage of the solitude of the area. The cache was hidden in the woods right above the pond. The cache was the usual lock-and-lock container, similar to Tupperware, but the lid locks much more solidly. In the cache, we found a disposable camera that the cache owner had left for finders to take pictures of themselves and then put back into the cache. Developed pictures are later loaded up to the website. We took a picture of Ken's dog with her nose in the cache, rooting around for a new ball to have as a toy. The next one both Ken and I looked forward to, as it was at a small village named Claiborne. At the turn of the century, Claiborne was a company town created by the Claiborne Brick Factory. Claiborne bricks were used all over BC and even in Washington State for making everything from brick stove stacks and factories and smelters to office brick buildings and growing downtown areas and even brick homes. You could easily identify which bricks came from here as they were uniquely stamped with the Claiborne name right on the brick. The cache itself was called the Brick from the Past, and Ken and I took pleasure in further exploring the old brick factory foundations as we searched for the cache. Alongside the old foundations, we found 3 smallish cement foundations that we recognized from the cache write-up as being 3 of the original kilns where they made some of the bricks. We found the cache after letting the GPS settle down to get a good reading. I took nothing, left nothing, signed the logbook, and then poked around in the open area. Going deeper into the forest area, further away from the cache, I found what I wanted. 3 Claiborne bricks with the Claiborne name on them, all in relatively good shape. An added bonus was one of the bricks that had been stamped Claiborne, made in Canada. To me, that was a real find. Brick design that had not been seen in the history books. Back into the car and onto through the woods to Grandma's house. This was another one of those hidden gems in suburbia. Another small stream that meandered down the hillside from one subdivision to the next. The highlight of this one was also an elevated boardwalk over a marshy area that joined the main stream. The walk was 3 to 4 blocks long, and we quite enjoyed the forest shade, and we were serenaded by birds as we searched for the cache. Upon finding it, I took a quarter, I put it towards lunch, and left a holder for sunglasses that clips into a car's sun visor. We signed the logbook and headed to another one just a few blocks away. Those that came before was named by a local active cacher in honor of all the past cachers that contributed to the local growth of the sport. This cache was featured in episode 4 of Icenrye's Geocaching Videozine. Along the path, both Ken and I commented on what a great job the cachers had done to showcase their local areas by showing their fellow cachers these hidden community parks. And that's the real treasure in this sport, getting one's butt off the couch and out into the cities and surrounding countryside to explore the local areas. And if you're lucky, learn some of the local history of our hometowns. At the heart of this sport is the same explorer urge that drives many of us to become Pacific Northwest backroaders. Sincerely, TJGuy from Maple Ridge, British Columbia. So thanks TJGuy for that great video contribution. Hope to see more from you in the future. So next we go to the St. Louis area down in the US, the geocacher Paul Konopacki, and he's the host of the St. Louis and Area Geocaching Association weekly podcast, and I'll have a link to it on the show notes. And so he's like me, a fellow broadcaster, and he emailed me a while back saying that he did some video work. Would I be interested in anything? Of course I am. I'm always interested in contributions. That's why I'm doing this episode. Well, back in April, of course, was International CITO Day, and he threw together a little video and sent me a copy for you, the viewers. And if you really enjoy this video, you can actually go to his website and download a copy for yourself, and it's a really great video. So, CITO event, St. Louis Area Geocaching Association, from Paul Konopacki. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
It's time to go.
Yes, guys, we could move over to the donut truck while we're talking.
Donut truck.
We'll dig in. Have
Mercy. I should probably use constraint and not eat any of them, but nah, you done twisted my arm.
Oh, okay. Mike.
I'm Pathfinder Junior.
Now, you never thought that Peach was going to get picked, huh? And you were the first one who took it.
Yep.
Also the first one to visit.
Did I meet you before?
I was at the winter picnic. I'd kick you, but my daughter loved you. The one that I do. And he's bigger than me.
Those 55-gallon drum liners.
She likes your height. But you're tough.
Is that trash or a spare tire?
It's spare trash.
Making our mark.
Are you spray painting?
She's tagging.
Tagging the place up.
I found a cup. Does anybody have coffee?
Oh yeah, here.
Sash weight for the old rope hung windows.
Oh.
Usually they broke inside the windows and they fall down.
There we go. Mad Dog maybe?
Oh, that's my favorite.
That's the big, I think just
How far to the trail?
We have to work like feet.
Okay, Ian?
Yep, it's ours. Did I hear that I found some lighter fuel?
Oh, okay.
It's ours, and Jim. Oh, it's heavy.
Yeah. Oops. Tongue oil? I didn't know tongue oil would be oil. There should be ours.
A lot of people were all along that whole line of the fence. I figured that coordinate, shouldn't they at least get closer?
Well, even if they're, you know, just use your logic.
So you can put that on eBay tomorrow?
yes, sir. That should bring a fair amount.
At least 75 cents.
Yeah.
Human garbage brigade coming.
So I saw an extra batch.
You did?
Well, where's your bag? What
I
is,
left mine. It got too
I
heavy.
picked up Steve's practicing for his new circus act.
Hey, you guys missed a piece. You got the prize for being the sweatiest guy. Oh, man. Happy holidays. Here you go. You got dirty. You win the car. You just have to find it.
He was dirty before he got
I think it's parked.
Thank you.
I'm Strider, Jim Green, Gerhardus, John Leonard,
Mad Chef, Mike Marion. Steve Bromley, Java programmer.
Bernie Verhey, happy crowd.
Kurt Stoppman, Rockfish.
Alexa eBay.
Tim and Annalisa Taylor, Team 57 Chevy.
It's kind of like a lineup.
Who wants cake and flat cat?
Dave Leggett.
Mario Leggett.
Mark Feldmeyer, Sniper 1.
Jay Harrison and Michelle Harrison, Statfinders.
Statfinder Jr.
This is Ian and Marboy, and I'm Sarah, First V30.
And Dan, TJGuy.
Ladybug STL, Yvonne.
Jewel and Dwayne, Corn and Cow. Corn Cow.
Ken Auld, handle Cycle Ken.
Elaine Hanna, Ms. E.
Hawkeye Packy, Title Pap W.
Oh my God. You would at least thought he drove it to the dump. Some people just leave anything laying around, you know? This is terrible.
Thanks, Paul, for that great contribution, and I know I'll be getting more stuff from you in the future. So, finally, we have a secret video from regular contributor Pablo Mac. He didn't tell me a whole lot about this video. He just basically said, I know you're doing an all-viewers episode. Here's a video. Put it on. You'll get the rest of it later. So, I'm not sure what this is leading to, but he's got my interest, and I'm sure he'll have your interest too. So, let's roll it. Latest video from viewer Pablo Mac. Thanks, Pablo. I always knew you were a little twisted. Interesting. But anyways, that about wraps up this show. But just before I leave, just a couple quick notes. As usual, it's the start of a new month, so make sure you get over to Podcast Alley and vote for me, because again, the more votes, the more exposure, the more people get to see this great video podcast on our favorite sport. And again, to get to there, simply go to my webpage, Icenrye.com, and look for a little icon on the left side of the menu. Also, make sure you join my Frappr map. And finally, if you have any emails, any contributions, anything you'd like to send me, send your email to Icenrye@Icenrye.com. And of course, my homepage is Icenrye.com. But in the meantime, in between time, that's it. Another episode of Icenrye's Geocaching Videozine. So until then, cache on. Now for me, I'm going back to my vacation. See ya. Oh, yeah. So next we hear from Lounging at Walden, and he writes, thanks for mentioning the video caches on your latest episode. Here's a giveaway for any gun can play video cache. The pulsar starts at and then add that to, multiply by, put it in a tumbler and shake it up, spread it all out, bake it at 350 degrees, bury it under peat moss, rotate, stir up, and let dry in the sun. Thanks again. Well, Lounging, thanks for the tip. Now I can go solve the problem, and next time I'm in California, I'll have to look up your cache.